Okay. Yeah. Tell her make it quick. No bother with the long white thing. Are you hearing me? Mrs. Edmond? Okay, I think we're about to begin. I know we're competing with the traffic, but we're going to try to be as efficient as possible. At this time, may I invite you to stand for the singing of the national anthem. Let me invite Miss Chantal Smalling, who will be singing the anthem.
Good morning, everyone. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Through our leaders, great defender, grant through wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us through respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Through knowledge stand us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love.
Thank you, Ms. Smalling. Could you remain standing, please? At this time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Kathy Chambers Admon, Senior Director of Corporate Services at the Ministry of Justice, to say prayers for us on today's proceedings. Miss Collins. Hi. It's okay. Where's the phone?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this new day. We thank you, Lord, for life and for the privilege to come together this morning for the purpose that we have come. We invite your presence in our midst, and we ask, Lord, that you'd bless everything that we do and say today. May it all be done unto the glory of your name. These and other mercies, we say thank you in Jesus' name.
Please be seated. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Minister of Justice, Honorable Delroy Chuck, QC, MP, Chief Justice of Jamaica, the Honorable Mr. Justice Brian Sykes, OJ, CD, Ambassador of France to Jamaica, His Excellency Olivier Gouillon-Vache, Deputy Head of the European Union Delegation to Jamaica, Mr. Frederick Eckfeldt, Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Ms. Rhoda Crawford, Member of Parliament, Manchester North Eastern, Honorable Audley Shaw, Chief Judge of the Parish Courts, His Honor, Mr. Chester Crooks, Senior Parish Court Judge for Manchester, His Honor, Mr. John Time, other members of the Judiciary who are present, Councillor for the Mandeville Division, Mr. Jones Oliphant, who is representing His Worship, Councillor Donovan Mitchell, Custos Rotiloro Manchester, the Honorable Garfield Green, Commanding Officer for Manchester Police Division, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, Deputy Commissioner of Corrections, Mr. Mark Thomas, Director Court Administration Division, Mrs. Tricia Cameron Anglin, colleagues from the Ministry of Justice and the Court Administration Division, members of the media, listeners on Nationwide News Network, good morning. I am Grace Ann Stewart McFarlane, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice and Chair of this morning's proceedings. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you all to witness this handover of the Manchester Family Court to the Judiciary. In November 2019, we received news of a fire which destroyed a section of this beautiful Jamaica Georgian style building and the oldest building in the Mandeville Square, which housed the Manchester Parish Court, causing a relocation of that court. 2 years later, I am happy to report that not only was the structure of the former Manchester Parish Court renovated, but that it has been upgraded with some modern facilities to better serve the residents, especially the families of Manchester. The new family court boasts a retrofitted and technologically capable courtroom, a child-friendly space which offers privacy to minors, and adequate counseling and other administrative spaces. It also includes surveillance security systems, new office equipment, and access control and cabling framework systems. The addition of a family court in Manchester comes at a crucial time when families in disputes are featuring prominently in the news. The family court is expected to play an integral role in balancing rights and responsibilities. Matters dealt with by the family court include adoption, child care and protection, custody, and testamentary guardianship of children, declaration of paternity, domestic violence, maintenance, property rights of spouses, and youth delinquency, among other matters. I use this opportunity to thank the ministry's project team from the project management and technical services and the corporate services teams from the Ministry of Justice for working so tirelessly to complete and outfit this structure. I also thank the team from the Court Administration Division for the valuable support that they have provided. Special thanks as well to the team at the Jamaica National Heritage Trust for guiding us to ensure that the preservation of this treasured heritage site was not compromised during the renovations. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially welcome us is Counselor for the Mandeville Division, Mr. Jones Oliphant, who is representing the Mayor. Mr. Oliphant, you may come.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson. And as I stand here, I remember that fateful morning when, along with our custos, we stood out there as we viewed the remains of the fire that took place. And we thank God at the time that the main structure was not destroyed by fire. And we wondered how we would restore it. And today, it is such a joy and a privilege that we can be here to see the beauty of workmanship and the marvels of the Lord, to see what we have accomplished. This morning, I want to welcome you all. Protocol has already been established. And I want to welcome you all to the cool climes of Mandeville, and especially at this time. And I want you to feel free. I want you to feel relaxed, but not so much that you will fall asleep. So I want you to follow me. Do like this 3 times. And the other one, 3 times. Okay. And then after that, I'm borrowing your right hand, and I give you my left hand. Just shake it. To you all, I want to say, welcome to Mandeville, and welcome to the accomplishment that we have had. As you know, family is of great importance. And we know at this moment, as a nation, we are going through a lot of challenges as it relates to family. The stronger the family structure, the stronger will be the country. And so as we open this and rededicate this structure to the honor and justice, we hope that justice will not only appear to be done, but justice will be done. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time in Mandeville as we at this open. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones Oliphant, for those welcoming words. Pivotal to the work of the Justice Ministry is a strong network of justices of the peace that support the ministry. Justices of the peace help us to take justice to Jamaicans from all corners of the island. The ministry in recent years has placed deliberate focus on sensitizing over 9,000 justices of the peace so that they can better serve the people of this country. The justices of the peace from Manchester, led by Custos Rotolorum, the Honorable Garfield Green, are always eager to learn and to improve the delivery of their service. I am confident that you will help us to inform residents on the various offerings at this facility. The ministry thanks you for your continued dedication, Custos, and to the roles and functions that you continue to play. I now invite you, Sir Custos Green, to bring your remarks.
Thank you, Mrs. Grayson McFarlane. The Honorable Delroy Truck, Minister of Justice, other members of government and political officials, the Honorable Mr. Brian Sykes, Chief Justice of Jamaica, and other members of the Judiciary. I don't know if I'll get it right. Mr. Frederick Eckfeldt, Minister Councillor of the European Union, and other officials that are here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I can remember quite vividly the early morning of the 10th of November 2019 when I got the call from the police to tell me that the courthouse was on fire. It was really sad to see the 202-year-old historic building then burning to the point that it would be out of use. Today, 2 years and 1 month later, I welcome this refurbished building, which is being handed over to the Judiciary for use as a family court. This, I believe, will result in improved efficiency in delivering justice in Manchester. Immediately following the fire that partially destroyed the building, efforts were made to find a temporary courthouse, and it was remarkable that within just over a week, about 9 days, the staff of the courthouse was able to embrace an alternative space to dispense justice in Manchester. That temporary relocation, along with what is happening here today, are examples to me of the emphasis the Ministry of Justice has on keeping the wheels of justice turning and ensuring that a reliable justice system is available within this parish. And I'm sure we can expect more, Minister. I am aware of the work put into getting the temporary courthouse ready, and also some of the challenges the court staff endured in settling in. I must therefore commend the court staff for their patience and cooperation during that period of transition. And for the work done on both buildings, I laud the technical teams that work assiduously in getting both buildings ready for us here in Manchester. Before closing though, I would like to bring 4 things to the attention of those with the necessary responsibilities. It's a lovely building, Minister. I've been in it not fully, not in its entirety. But I want us to ensure that there's access and sanitary conveniences adequate for both the disabled body and the able bodies. We all need justice. And when we're here, I want to make sure that people can access the courthouse quite easily, and if they are in need of sanitary convenience, it's available to them. When this was a full courthouse, there used to be a huge crowd on the front here formed by litigants. So I do expect that there'll be some form of crowd control in place so that when courts are in session, both court staff and judges can feel safe in entering and leaving the building. Noise control, Minister. I sat in, back in 2019, in a circuit session, and the level of noise around the surroundings of the court was just unbearable. The bikes, the music being played, it was disturbing. And I do hope that maybe with the help of the police, something can be done to control the level of noise around these court facilities. Maintenance. It is my hope that there's a maintenance plan for the building, because we want to ensure not just that the courthouse is an historic building that we want to keep. We want to keep the look of it for Manchester. We want to feel proud of the building, Minister. So I'm asking that it be maintained throughout by having regular maintenance done on it. So ladies and gentlemen, please accept my wishes for Merry Christmas to you and your families. And it is my hope that 2022 will be your best year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Custos Green. At this time, I'm going to invite Ms. Rhoda Crawford, Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, to bring brief remarks to us.
Thank you, Madam Permanent Secretary and Master of Ceremonies, Responsible Minister, Honorable Delroy Chuck, Minister Audley Shaw, Chief Justice Sykes, pleasure to meet you, Ambassadors, Custos, Councillor Oliphant, other members from the Ministry, Superintendent of Police, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, members of the media, good morning. Just very briefly, it gives me great honor to welcome the Honorable Minister of Justice to Manchester Central, the best constituency on the island. And of course, especially to our friends, our ambassadors, welcome to the coolest and healthiest parish in the island. And also, I have to say this wherever I go, a recent survey was done and the people of Manchester were ranked the happiest people on the island. So you're all in a very happy place. You know, a very serious part of my mandate is to rebuild Manchester Central. And so I am very happy that Minister Chuck has taken the responsibility of renovating the courthouse that was destroyed 2 years ago and to repurpose it for the business of family activities, to make it into a family court. Our Honorable Custos spoke to the relocation of the courthouse after the fire, and I must say I had an experience there, because shortly after the elections, the independent candidate who had achieved 49 votes after the close of polls, he decided he wanted a magisterial recount. And so, no, it's not, I'm not laughing about it, because what that shows, it shows that there's justice for everyone and that the system is at work. So even though the temporary courthouse, we know it's a temporary holding space and it was not equipped with the latest and finest furniture, but despite that, Justice Time and the team presided over the matter skillfully, and we made the best of the space. So I'm very happy to see that the Mandeville Courthouse has been renovated and is now fitted with latest state-of-the-art technology. And Minister, thank you for that gift, because the best constituency deserves the best gifts. We appreciate it, and on behalf of a grateful people, thank you. Have a great day. Happy holidays to everyone when it comes.
Thank you for those words, Ms. Crawford. Minister, I don't know if I'm permitted to say that I'm a resident of this parish and happy town. Born, bred. All right. Now, the delivery of this family court today is a third of 4 family courts that the government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Justice, committed to deliver under the 11th European Development Fund Financing Agreement, which concluded in March 2020. While the delivery of the family courts missed the delivery deadline due to a number of challenges compounded by the onset of COVID-19, the European Union, recognizing the efforts and commitment of the government of Jamaica and the Ministry of Justice to complete and deliver the courts, went ahead and provided the government with the funds allocated for the delivery of the courts. The ministry expects to deliver the St. Anne Family Court in the next quarter, being the 4th court. The ministry enjoys the support of our long-standing development partner, the European Union, and looks forward to your continued support. The increase in the number of family courts is being pursued against the background of a multifaceted program that is expected to expand to reach the justice services. In addition to the establishment of family courts, through the EU's assistance, we have equipped several of our courts with audiovisual equipment and upskilled staff across the justice sector. Just before I invite the Deputy Head of the European Delegation to Jamaica, Mr. Frederick Eckfeldt, to make his remarks, I would like to extend on behalf of the Minister and the Ministry of Justice our sincerest condolence to the whole European delegation in Jamaica and the family of the German ambassador, Mr. Stefan Kiel, to Jamaica on his sudden passing yesterday. I am going to now invite you, sir, Mr. Eckfeldt, to come and make your remarks.
Good morning. All the protocols have been observed. I know I'm a diplomat, I should enumerate all the names again, but I think I will skip that today. However, I must say that I'm strongly pleased to be here together with Minister Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. I'm very pleased to see the Minister also of Industry and Commerce here together with us, Audley Shaw. All the members of Parliament, all the friends of the European Union, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be here today. I am a representative of the European Union. The European Union is not the European institutions. The European Union is the 27 member states. And me, as a European Union official, I have no raison d'être if it's not to serve the 27 member states and the population of the European Union, inside the European Union and outside the European Union. So that's why I would like to seize this opportunity to say that Ambassador Stefan Kiel, who passed away, German Ambassador Stefan Kiel, who passed away yesterday, would have loved to be here with us today. He, a true friend of the European Union, true friend of Jamaica. He represented the best what the European Ministry of Foreign Affairs could produce. A very competent diplomat, but on top of that, he associated his skills as an ambassador with human skills also. He was a very warm, kind person who saw the human being in front of him. And that made a very exceptional combination for being an ambassador. So Stefan Kiel would have wanted to be here together with us today. He's not. But I'm so pleased to see that I have another eminent representative of the European Union, the French ambassador, Olivier Guillaume-Vache, who is from another founding member state of the European Union. At the beginning, it was only 6 nations. And without the German and French motor, the European Union would never have become what it is today. And I'm very grateful for having the ambassador, French ambassador, for me together to show the solidarity of the European Union to Jamaica also. It is timely that the opening of the newly renovated Manchester Family Court is taking place just a week after World Observed International Human Rights Day. Jamaica has a long and highly respected history of struggle for equal rights and taking a stand for justice not only for Jamaicans, but for other populations undergoing struggles. The establishment of these family courts is in line with the government's prioritization of the justice sector and its commitment to protecting the rights of all. The European Union and its member states and Jamaica share a strong commitment to promoting and advancing justice and basic rights for all. The European Union works to promote and safeguard these values all over the world. The rule of law goes hand in hand with democracy. You can't have one without the other. Having a well-functioning justice system is an important step to ensuring equitable and efficient access to justice, which is essential for peace and sustainable development. We are therefore pleased to see the realization of this long-awaited family court for the parish of Manchester, the beautiful parish of Manchester, the happy parish of Manchester. It is one of 4 such courts established with our support, where community members can go to seek redress in matters relating to family life. It is a milestone achievement that has significant implications for the people of the parish in terms of access to justice. The European Union's support to any sector in Jamaica is never arbitrary. It is determined by the priorities of the government of Jamaica. The financing agreement that the European Union signed with the government of Jamaica in November 2016 was entered after a joint review of the justice sector that revealed endemic problems that hampered the justice system's ability to deliver justice for all in a timely manner. During these years, I've been proud to partnering with the minister, and it has been very good results indeed. This included the lack of use of technology in case progression, limitations in access to justice for various sections of the population, and significant backlog at all levels of the court. One of the first points of the agreements, therefore, was to improve efficiency and accountability in the system through improvements in backlog reduction. And I think that the Chief Justice has witnessed in the media several times about the good progress that Jamaica has achieved in this area. It is intention and our hope that when community members access the courts, they will feel comfortable in the space and their matters will be settled in a timely manner. The completion of this renovated court forms one of the final milestones in the government of Jamaica's achievement of this agreement with the European Union. And for that, I congratulate both the people of Jamaica and the administrators of the justice sector. To date, the government of Jamaica has either achieved or exceeded all its indicators under the budget support program and has received disbursement of Jamaican dollars 3.8 billion, which is European Union money, euro 21.6 millions. Working with, as I said, with the Minister of Justice has met all expectations. Given all that has been achieved, the European Union stands proudly behind our support for justice sector and to Jamaica. We're encouraged by the positive achievements in the sector, and it's our hope that these changes will deepen the confidence of Jamaicans in the justice system. It is further expectations that these and the other improvements will not only transform the sector, but will take the country closer to realizing the goal of equal rights and access to justice for all. Thank you so much. Before I say I let the word to somebody else, I would like to express all my best wishes for a wonderful Christmas, and that 2022 will be a safe, happy, and prosperous one for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for those words, Mr. Eckfeldt. The ministry does look forward to their continued partnership. At this time, just a break from the speeches. I'm going to invite Ms. Chantal Smalling to join us for a rendition from her repertoire.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here today. All protocols observed. You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you've been broken, your innocence stolen, I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance. You have been covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter. I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. And I never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight it through. I will rescue you. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you.
Thank you, Ms. Smalling. Very well done. Give her another hand. Okay, thank you. In my welcome, I failed to welcome Mrs. Francine Rooms of the CPFSA, Child Protection and Family Services. They will be one of those entities who will be using this facility quite a lot, actually. Mrs. Rooms is representing the CEO, Mrs. Rosalie Gage Gray, of that entity. Welcome, Mrs. Rooms. Since the start of 21-22 fiscal year, extensive repairs and refurbishing works have been completed at a number of courts, including the St. James Parish Court, the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court, Criminal Division, the St. Elizabeth Parish Court, among other courts across the island. The mission of the Justice Ministry is in part to facilitate effective access to justice and deliver quality justice services for all. Today's event is a clear indication of our continued commitment to the judiciary and to all Jamaicans to provide resources to enable a just society. The reform in the judicial system is being spearheaded by the Chief Justice of Jamaica, the Honorable Mr. Justice Brian Sykes, who I will now invite to make his remarks. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam Permanent Secretary, for inviting me to make these few remarks, and let me associate myself with the protocol established so ably by the Permanent Secretary. But in the midst of so adopting, I wish to recognize the members of Parliament who are here present, and though in different capacities, we have Minister Chuck, a member of Parliament, but he's here in his capacity as a Minister of Justice. We have Minister Shaw, but he's also here in his capacity as a Member of Parliament for Manchester North East. And we have I am now told, the historical figure of Ms. Rhonda Crawford, Member of Parliament for Central Manchester. The Custos recognized as well the council representing the mayor, chief judge of the parish court, the three judges of the parish court who are here, the representative of the European Union, and also the ambassador for France to Jamaica, and all the other distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are here. And let me also associate myself with the condolence expressed by the Permanent Secretary to Germany in particular, and to the European Union generally, for the passing of His Excellency Ambassador Kiel. So it is a sudden and unexpected tragedy, and the judiciary wishes to express its condolences to the people of Germany and to the European Union. Now, it was with interest that I noted the past tense, that as far as the program is concerned concerning the establishment of family courts, I noticed words like ended, completed, and so on. And I would wish to suggest that some other words ought to be added, namely the first part has been successfully completed. And the additional part is to have family courts in every parish in Jamaica. So we have had them in Clarendon, Trelawney, now Manchester, and St. James, and in Kingston and St. Andrew. Now we have other parishes that are in need of family courts because the stopgap measure that we have had in the parishes, and it is not by virtue of blame, no, but by observation, where the parish courts have been sort of filling the gap. But we know that when you have a designated and specialized family court, it enables the full range of services to be provided to those in need. And as well as the parish courts have done, the family courts, specialized family courts, can do even better. They have the counselors and other support staff that will do an excellent job in that area. Now, in respect of the delivery of legal services, it has to take place in a healthy environment. And I wish to recognize the contribution of the European Union in cooperation with the Ministry of Justice to have this courthouse refurbished within 2 years after the fire and in the midst of a COVID pandemic. Because you will recall that when the COVID-19 came to us last year, a lot of uncertainty, and we didn't know how we would fare. But here we are now, several months later, 19 months into the pandemic, and we can say that we have fared well, and the court is now about to be opened in the first quarter of next year, and which answers the question that was posed to me by Her Honor Miss Natalie Brooks, one of the judges of the parish court here, who has accepted the task of establishing the standards for this court. So one of her questions was when the court would be opened. So we now have the answer, the first quarter of next year. And I should advise her that her work will begin immediately because she will be intimately involved in the interviewing and the selection of staff for this court. And she has the responsibility now of establishing the standards by which courts in the new dispensation will be operating. So, but having said that, it is important to point out that under the leadership of His Honor, Mr. John Time, supported by Ms. Brooks and by Mrs. Blackstock Murray, the Manchester Parish Court has been performing excellently so far this year. And you will notice that when I came to the podium, I came with this. And this is the strategic plan that was launched in January of 2020. And then for those of us who are interested, and I hope that you all are, and if you go to page 30, 31, and 32 of the book, you will see where there were projections of the performance of the court that needed to be met if we were to clear the backlog in 6 years. So it pleases me to be able to say that in the report, the projected clearance rate needed for year 3, which is this year, was 95.24% on the criminal side. And the clearance rate on the criminal side as of September 30 this year was 101.37. So what that means is that the court is ahead of projection for the clearance rate for the year 3 of our strategic plan, which began in earnest in the year 2019 completed 2020 and we are now in 2021. It is important to note that 12 of the 13 parish courts achieved international standards of between 90 to 100%. So a lot of work is being done in those courts. And what makes that particularly impressive is that this is coming out now of the pandemic. And we are still in the pandemic, though some of us sometimes we have forgotten that. But you remember that there was a reduction in legal services for 2 quarters of last year. And so what that means is that the output, the productivity of the courts has increased significantly, and a significant recovery from where we were in September last year. And so the overall clearance rate for the courts, all 13 parish courts, is 98.81%. And our statistician tells us that the Manchester court in particular is forecast to have a clearance rate by December 31 of 131.52%. And what that means is that on the criminal side, the court will be clearing 131 cases for every 100 coming in, which means that the backlog is being reduced, because when you have 100 coming in, 100 going out, and you have an extra 31, the extra 31 has to come from somewhere, and that is the backlog, and that is how it is being reduced gradually. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, and Costas will be pleased to hear this, is that if this continues over the next couple of years, as in literally the next couple of years, the Manchester court is on course to become backlog free on the criminal side by 2023-2024. On the civil side, the clearance rate required for year 3 is 84.76. It is now at 81.25, so just about 3 cases behind. But again, it's on course and in keeping with the projection made by our statistician. And so it is important to speak of these things because, as I always say, what makes the news oftentimes is not dog bites man, which is the usual expected course of events, but when man bites dog, that is what makes the news. So when good things are happening in the court, it really apparently is not newsworthy. But when distressing things happen, then that is now the focus. So we need to speak to the positive things that are happening and to recognize the work that has been done by the senior judge, supported by the 2 judges here. But it's not just the judges, it's the staff. Because remember that they were displaced from here in 2019 on a plaza, managing to continue the delivery of legal services in difficult and trying circumstances. And the judges, though they wish it would be better, they have not shirked their responsibility, and it has been showing in the statistics that we now have. But as good as those things are, we can get better. So how are we going to get better? Well, this is one. So what this means in practical terms is that the cases, that the family cases in the parish courts will now come out of that court and come over to the family court here, which means that there'll be more space in the calendar in the parish court to hear and dispose of matters. So that's one thing. The second thing is greater use of alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. So I'm here to advocate to all in Manchester and to all in Jamaica who may be hearing me at this point to make use of the restorative justice program, particularly in criminal matters, and what it seeks to do is really about restoring relationships. One of the things that we don't recognize is that in the vast majority of cases in the parish courts, criminal cases, the parties are known to each other. It is rare that is actually a complete stranger. And so what the restorative justice program is about, it is about restoring the hitherto good relationship that existed between the parties, because a criminal case is usually a manifestation of a breakdown in the relationship. And so restorative justice goes far beyond a conviction, because the conviction gives you an outcome, but it doesn't speak to the nature of the relationship in the community, because at the end of the trial, the persons have to go back in the community and live with each other. They may very well be neighbors. And so what the restorative justice program does is that it provides a forum whereby those who feel that they have been wronged can meet outside of the formalities of a court setting without the prospect of a conviction and work out their problems. And so the community becomes better and stronger because of that. So I encourage persons to embrace that program. The other thing is mediation of cases. I know that my citizens like to come to court because they want to hear it from the judge. But as I say sometimes, litigation is uncertain. I won't say it is like the West Indies cricket team, but litigation is uncertain, because the strongest of cases, it may look that way on paper, but when you go into the witness box, you may have an upset stomach, you may not be focusing too well, and you do not give the answers that your lawyer was expecting from you. And by the time you come out of the witness box and the judgment is delivered, it's too late. So when you are speaking to the lawyer about the prospects of an appeal, the lawyer may be saying to you, but this is what you told the judge. When you go into mediation now, it gives you another opportunity, or even a better opportunity, to work out again the problems there and come to a solution that you have crafted yourself. That is really one of the big things about the mediation. And so on the question of costs, I know that has been an issue. The Ministry of Justice is working to address that, so you need not be concerned about that. So I'm encouraging the attorneys and citizens to make use of these other means of resolving disputes. So it only remains for me to express again my appreciation to the European Union and to the Minister of Justice and to the Ministry of Justice for taking us from the fires of 2019 to a new family court here in 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Justice, for those remarks. And we do look forward to partnering with the Court Administration Division on delivering other family courts in other parishes. I can see Minister's brain ticking already. Let me welcome Mrs. Diane Gordon Harrison, who has joined us, Children's Advocate of Jamaica. Thanks, Mrs. Harrison, for coming. The Justice Ministry's achievements can be credited to the inspirational leadership of Minister Honorable Delroy Chuck. He's here today to further underscore his vision and aspirations for a first-class justice system, which he, can I say, I think everybody in the ministry now knows it by heart. We're working towards a first-class justice system. Please join me in welcoming Minister at this time to deliver his address.
Thank you very much, Grayson McFarlane, our Permanent Secretary and Master of Ceremonies, Chief Justice Brian Sykes, Custos Rotolorum of Manchester, Honorable Garfield Green, my good friends, the Minister of Commerce and Industry and everything, fisheries and agriculture, Order Shaw, Rhoda Crawford, who is, I dare say, a mentee. In that, over the last couple of years, we have worked closer together. Members of the European Union, Deputy Mr. Eric Field, Ambassador for France, welcome to be. Very happy to have you here, sir. And please also express our condolence to the German embassy, German government, and people of Germany. Very sad, only last Friday, he and I were together at a reception with you, Mr. Eckfield. Chief Parish Court Judge, Mr. Chester Brooks, also Senior Parish Court Judges here. Tricia Cameron, Head of the Court Administration Division. Very happy that Ms. Diana Harrison was able to join us. Also from the Child Care and Protection Services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Counsel for the Mandeville Division, Mr. Oliphant, also thank you for your welcome here. Members of the media. Let me say I feel very at home because you may not know, but I was born in this parish, not far from here in Christiana. I think my neighbor string is still up there. So I feel attached to Manchester. So when I come here, I feel like I'm coming home, and it's always such a beautiful climate to return to. Right. Now, may I say that today is a really a wonderful day, in that only less than 2 years ago, this court went out of commission, and hopefully, very shortly, it will be back into commission. I agree with the Chief Justice. All the courts will be constantly improved. But I'm happy that very shortly, this court will be reopened as a family court. And we hope that this will be the third of 4 courts, family courts, that we promise to put under the assistance from the European Union. Early next year, we are hoping to open the St. Anne's Family Court. It's completed, but we are to get some IT equipment added. We had 2 wonderful courts, one in Clarendon and one in Trelawney. And as the Chief Justice has indicated, we need family courts across the island. This one, however, not only is it a renovation, but we have added quite a number of technology, and we hope that this technology will improve the ambience and the delivery of the justice services. We now have, brand new audiovisual equipment, which was acquired for $10 million in the court. We have 3 60-inch smart TVs, which will facilitate the display of evidence. Very shortly, we'll be able to see not only cameras, audio equipment, video equipment, that will make this court a wonderful court, not only to work in, but to deliver family services, justice in these courts. Let me first say that this is not the end of courts in Manchester. We hope, certainly within the next 3 years, I can only say hope, that the main parish court will be built. We have acquired the land. We are now working out the protocol. The likelihood is that we will do a PPP, public-private sector partnership, for that court to come into existence. And I can only hope that during 2022, the protocols can be worked out, and hopefully by the end of 2022, 2023, construction can begin. Manchester deserves an iconic court, and you're going to get it. Not telling any secrets, only yesterday, the Chief Justice and Minister of Finance met with the Jamaica Development Bank and the team to look not only at rolling out the Manchester Parish Court, but at least 4 other parish courts over the next 3 to 5 years, and definitely a new Supreme Court. This government is determined that justice must be the forefront of governance, because without justice, there can be no peace. And even while we await the delivery of those new structures that will represent what is best for Jamaica in the delivery of justice, we will still continue to improve and renovate the existing courts. But we acknowledge many of these courts are over 100 years. This court is over 200 years. So it's a challenge to renovate and rehabilitate these courts. Even now, work has started on the Clarendon Court to improve the facilities there, so that under this minister, this government, justice is going to get the resources to ensure that the people can access and benefit from the delivery of justice. This family court represents a very important part of how we deal with matters concerning the family. In truth, we should not really need family courts. But the reason we need family courts is because we have far too many dysfunctional families. Far too many men have children, and having had children, you see them no longer again. And the poor mothers who have to work so hard to care and maintain these children have to take these fathers to court for maintenance. It's really sad. Many of Jamaica's problems, and believe me, we have lots of problems, begin with the failure of the family. There's no doubt about that. If mothers and fathers, and especially fathers, could really give their children more guidance, more support, financial assistance, instead of having 2 beers, have one, no? And give the price of the other one every day to your child, so the child can have a decent meal at school and also have bus fare to get to school. I say, our fathers across Jamaica, you're letting down the children. And because you're letting down the children, the mothers are suffering. And the poor mother, working all day, sometimes 8 hours, but another 4 to 6 hours traveling. When the mothers reach home, the children want their attention. Tired mothers don't have the energy to really attend to them. And the real problem at that stage is that the children are abused. And that is where the Child Care and Protection Services, the children's advocate, Mrs. Diana Harrison, they come in because they have to protect the children. And we want to make it crystal clear across Jamaica that child abuse must stop. It must be prevented. It is these children who are abused who frequently become violent and be a part of gangs because they find the comfort in the gangs when they should be getting the comfort at home. So I hope Mrs. Harrison and the Child Care and Protection Services send the signal out as clear as possible that our children need the care and attention, not only of the mother, but of the father, and frankly, the grandparents. Most of us grew up with grandparents. What is very important to note is that the people who have succeeded and have done well are those who have had good, strong family support. Over the decades that I've had the opportunity to look at how students have done, those who get scholarships, one of the singular most important point to note is how either the mother or the father stood behind them, not only from prep school, primary school, secondary school, right up to university. You see either the mother or the father right behind them all the step of the way. And that is why most successful people will be able to say, I thank my mother or I thank my father for all the effort that they've put out. So I say to the mothers and fathers, don't depend on the school. Don't depend on the family court. Don't depend on the churches. Please play your part in making your children the success that they should be. And immediately, I dare say, we want to start all schools next year. The government would like all schools to be open next year. But in this pandemic, it's difficult. The children are at risk because of COVID-19. And I urge families that have children in their homes who will have to go to school, ensure that those who are over 12 years, 12 to 18, that they get vaccination. Because if they're not vaccinated, they're likely to get infected and may take it home, and many elderly people may suffer if they themselves also fail to get vaccination. The persons who are unvaccinated, please try and think again. Misinformation, deception, fear, hesitancy is of no benefit to you now. And even if you don't think of yourselves, think of your children who hang around you. If you get infected, the children may get infected. So I urge you, exorcise that fear that you have, because across the world, over 5 billion people have been vaccinated. 8.5 billion doses have been administered. If something was wrong with the vaccines, surely the scientists would have found out by now. So the fear that something is wrong with the vaccine, try to overcome it. Most of the world, 70% of their population have been vaccinated. Jamaica can't even make 20%. Not more than about 500,000 Jamaicans are fully vaccinated. For us to really put this pandemic behind us, we need another 1 million Jamaicans at least to get vaccination. And I say to that 1 million or more who are not yet vaccinated, for the benefit of our children, come forward, get vaccination. You have nothing to worry about. Chief Justice, myself, my MPs, if we had any fear, if we had any doubts, we wouldn't get vaccination. Why 5 billion people? Why most of the judges in the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, parish court judges have been vaccinated? Are you, the unvaccinated, so much more intelligent than us that you see something wrong that we can't see? I beg of you, urge of you across Jamaica, for the benefit of Jamaica and our children in particular, take steps to get vaccination. Now, I would urge that in resolving these problems, we try and use our imagination as much as possible to see how our problems can be resolved. I'm so happy that the Chief Justice have taken away part of my speech in terms of encouraging alternative dispute resolution. Take it from me, restorative justice, where relationships are restored, are the way forward when people are in conflicts, when they are in disagreements. There's absolutely no need to use abuses, brutality, brute force, violence to resolve problems. The justice centers, the JPs, every restorative justice facilitators, mediators are available to assist persons in conflict to resolve their problems. And I'm so happy that the courts have bought into restorative justice and the judges are recommending people in conflict to go and see if you can restore your relationship. This, in the family court, judges, will be an area where restorative justice will be able to assist families who are in conflict, families who are not living up to their expectation to really live up to their familial responsibility and use restorative justice to restore their relationship. The Ministry of Justice will next year be rolling out restorative justice even more across our communities to ensure that disagreements, conflicts can be more amicably resolved rather than to use violence. It is the same with mediation. We will be urging the parish court judges over the next 3 months to refer matters to mediation. And we at the Ministry of Justice have found some funds to afford those litigants who cannot afford mediation service. We will pay for it because not only do we believe that it is the best method to get to a solution, it will also help to reduce the backlog in the courts. It will also help to make Jamaica a kinder and gentler place. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, may I say, Jamaica can be as pleasant and nice as the atmosphere in Mandeville. You feel a sense of, friendliness when you get up to Mandeville. And I'm happy that MP Crawford has said that Manchester has the happiest people. We want Jamaicans to be happy. We want Jamaicans to enjoy peace and prosperity. We want Jamaicans to play its part in making Jamaica not only the place to live, work, raise families, and do business. We want Jamaica to stand out. Jamaica now stand out in athletics, in entertainment. We want Jamaica to stand out as one of the happiest places on earth. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, we can do it. We must do it. Let next year be a year that we say it's a new beginning. Jamaica has put crime and violence behind us. Jamaica has put indiscipline and disorder, corruption, malpractice behind us. Let us move forward to peace and prosperity. And I wish everyone, a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. May the good Lord bless and keep us and ensure that we live to see 2022. God bless everyone.
Thank you, Minister, for always a very vibrant presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you will agree that this has been a significant event. All our presenters have ably underscored the significance of a justice system in Jamaica, of one that is safe, cohesive, and just, as well as their commitment to its delivery. At this time, I'm going to invite the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, Chief Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice Brian Sykes, Deputy Head of the European Union Delegation to Jamaica, Mr. Frederick Eckfeldt, Chief Judge of the Parish Courts, His Honor Mr. Chester Crooks, Director of the Court Administration Division, Mrs. Cameron Anglin, to join me in front at the top of the stairs on the second level for the cutting of the ribbon and a few photographs and a tour of the facility. Additionally, tours will be arranged thereafter. Please be guided by our ushers as we try to maintain the COVID protocols. I too want to thank you for your attention and wish for you all a pleasant weekend and a happy and safe Christmas holidays, and that we will all enter 2022 alive and well. Thank you.